a very small amount of rappers that could just drop an album out of nowhere and it be a major success. One of those rappers would be Kendrick Lamar. Another one of those rappers would be Eminem. And Eminem just dropped an album out of nowhere with no type of advertisement or anything, amidst the Nick Cannon beef, I guess you can call it that. He drops music to be murdered by, which has drawn so many different opinions and a lot of criticism, and CNN has said that Eminem has went too far, but the link for this article will be in the description. Now, according to CNN, Eminem went too far, and this is why they're saying that. So you would think after nearly a quarter of a century, Eminem might have had his fill of controversy, but his latest lyrics are an indication his appetite for outrage remains unsatisfied. Now, in a new track from his surprise album, Music to Be Murdered By, the 47-year-old rapper sets his sights on the 2017 Manchester Arena terror attack. Now, the lyrics of unaccommodating include the line, "But I'm contemplating yelling bums away on the game like I'm outside of an Ariana Grande concert waiting." So, the mother of the Charlotte Hawkson, a teenager who died in the Manchester attack, called the song disgusting and disrespectful. It is unlikely that this reaction will come as a surprise to Eminem, whom rapping from the perspective of vicious killers seems to be a favorite consent. So, from his iconic stand to Murder Music in '97 to Kamikaze of 2018, but you have to wonder, with this point, which appears to be aren't murderous, disturbing, is too often made at the expense of victims rather than perpetrators. So, in Music to Be Murdered By alone, Eminem compares himself to serial killers Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, Albert DeSalvo, known as the Boston Strangler, and Charles Manson. He also throws in a healthy dose of another of his artistic trademarks, pugnacious hatred of women, plus some outdated pop culture references to boot. Now, Eminem's intent with the album's lead single, Darkness, which focuses on the 2017 Las Vegas shooting, appears to be good. The delivery is extraordinary. His lyrics, and I quote, he said, "Finger on the trigger, but I'm a licensed owner with no prior convictions, so lost. The sky's the limit, so my supplies infinite. Strapped like I'm a soldier. Make a jarring comment on the ease with which people can obtain firearms in America." So, Eminem also reverse trick, also makes some risky assumptions when, as in the case of Darkness, the question of mental health is thrown in the mix. He raps that the shooter shows no signs of mental illness, and the song "The Sign of Silence" resonates with loneliness and heavily hints that the shooter is suffering. So, it's true that many people have hidden mental health problems, but drawing a direct line between people who are ill and people who are murdered, particularly in the case where the motive of the shooter remains officially unknown, makes potentially stigmatizing assumptions about the mentally ill. And then, of course, there's the misogyny, unaccommodating, a stale reference to a particular act in Kim Kardashian's sex tape, which was leaked in 2007, is just another riff on a line he's been repeating for 20 years. Check the reference to the Christina Aguilera and the Real Slim Shady, which was released almost 20 years ago. Joke is still the same and always on the woman. So, Kim, from his 2000 LP, Marshall Mathers, describes Eminem's real ex-wife's fictional murder, and this album has a lot of violent, gory. The physical and skill of Eminem's rapping remain formidable, but the effect is to make the listener nostalgic for a time when his dark alter ego might still have alienated, but his outrageous talent, not to mention a healthy dose of white privilege in a historically black arena, have seen Eminem get away with more than most of the music industry. Now, I listened to this album, Music to Be Murdered By, and it's Eminem. Eminem is 47. Eminem can't change his style, even if he wanted to. It sounds like the original Eminem. It sounds like 2018's Eminem. It's all this crazy stuff that I just read out to you is in there. Now, is this too much? The topics that he's rapping on. That's the question. And some people would think that it is, and some will think that it isn't. But you're not getting a trash pass on this album because it's not a trash album. It's just kind of disturbing and very, very gory and murderous, if that makes sense to you. But Eminem drops a new album and it's out right now. Check it out. Like this video, leave your comment, share it on social media, and subscribe later.